everybody, it's Katie. I wrote another slam poem. Shocker. Usually a lot of editing goes into these videos beforehand, but I decided not to edit this one because I'm just gonna film it and then put it up because I want everything to be natural looking. So I hope you enjoy. It's untitled. It took me a while to have the courage to post this just because I know I'm gonna get backlash from his friends or from people I know. So I'm gonna post it anyway because he doesn't control me anymore. Everyone I have ever known of has been afraid of pain. It starts when you're little. Pressing your hand against the stove, getting stung by a bee, running too fast and scraping your hands and knees, crying to your parents about your scuffs and bruises. Pain is a terrible thing. Everyone is afraid of pain, but nobody is afraid of feeling nothing. Nobody is afraid of thick air and dry mouths. Nobody is afraid of food tasting like nothing but vomit, always hungry, always tired, quiet so loud it burns your ears, screaming when nobody can hear it. Nobody is afraid of fingers shaking, lying in a hospital bed, catching your breath from nothing but moving. I pinch my arm, but I can't feel anything. Pain, a memory distant in my mind, but yet again so close that I can grasp at it with tear-stained fingertips, but never hold it long enough. It was hard to do everything, which is why I did nothing, but now I realize I could have done anything. I could have hovered my hand over the stove, or scraped my knees. I could have cried to my parents, or taken a walk, or read a book under a scarf. I could have fallen in love, but instead, I laid still, pricking my fingertips like a princess in hopes I could fall asleep. Eating poison apples like candy, but this poem isn't about my hospital visits or lung problems. This poem isn't about my depression or loneliness. This poem is about you. You know the beginning of a horror movie. Everything is scarier when you see those words based on true events and you're screaming at the teens in the movies because you just want them to leave. Get out before they get hurt. But they always stay. Baby, you were my horror story. You were my demon. You were haunting my dreams and leaving handprints all over me. This poem isn't about my depression, but it's important because I wanted someone to save me. So you became my color in a sea of black and white. You wipe my tears and calm my storms. This poem is too long to go on about falling in love, isn't it? That's what happened, isn't it? You used to tell me you loved hearing my poems, that you could sit for hours just hearing my voice. Well, baby, now you're the star one. I fell in love with a loaded gun. I fell in love with his game of chess, emotions pawned off like I would never be a king. I fell in love with his honey eyes. I fell in love with the sound of his voice and the feeling of his hands on my back. I fell in love with the suicide threats and the late nights begging him not to take his life. I fell in love with pushing his hands off my thighs and telling him no in the parking lot. I fell in love with him going through my phone and begging his forgiveness for telling my best friend I loved her. I fell in love with a bulletproof vest, but listened to him when he told me to take it off. Maybe he didn't hit me, but he stole my sense of comfort and security. Maybe he didn't hit me, but he made me apologize for getting upset after something he did to hurt me. I fell out of love with him. Or at least that's what I told myself. He told me I was a gun pressed to his head, and if I left, I would pull the trigger. He called me beautiful and a murderer in the same breath. All the while telling him he was perfect. Baby, I'm sorry, I was the problem. Baby, I was causing the fights. He was a god and I was a bitch that didn't deserve his love. So finally, I pushed his lips off mine because nobody wants to kiss a monster, swallowing my protest in exchange for his pleasure. No, nobody came to save me. I was a princess locked in a tower guarded by a dragon who kissed me before he burned me. How can they know if you don't call out for help? Can't move on without letting go. How the hell was I supposed to let go when he seemed to be the oxygen tank in my life? He was rubbing circles on my back with a knife to my throat. He seemed to be the savior to all my problems. Baby, you were the light in the stream of darkness. I didn't see you were the one turning out the lights. I spent so much time thanking you for the house you built me, I didn't notice the locked door and the broken windows. I was so happy to have a place to lay my head, I didn't realize your bed was made of thorns. And even now, after I left him, I miss him, I miss his love. I wish I was the same, but now I'm different. I look in the mirror and there's handprints on my thighs. His hands are sewn in my wrists. I deleted my favorite songs off my playlist because of you. So now that it's over, I don't have to see him anymore, right? I'm finally happy, right? I can't stop thinking about you, laying awake at night because of you. You didn't hit me, but you hurt me. But none of that matters anymore. Because I can go to bed when I want. I can spend time with my friends when I want. I don't have to apologize for being sad anymore. I can be happy when I want. So I guess that's what I finally am. Happy. The end of an era and the start of a new beginning. The start of a happier beginning. No more suicide threats. No more goodbyes. Just hellos.